Good afternoon and welcome to Coffee Catch-Ups. It's a beautiful Tuesday afternoon and some positive news for us that live in Auckland. Well, we now have the opportunity to go for a haircut. I'm booked in Thursday, so this horrible mop of mine will be gone on Thursday. Good news, my wife is stoked. It's exciting times for us in Auckland as we allowed to go see the barber. But even more exciting is the guest I have on today. We were talking just before we went live, and we figured out that it was about 14 or so years ago that we met, and it is exceptional to see how far he's come. The business that he's built in terms of really having a business that is impacting so many people's lives has a lot of meaning and a lot of excitement for me, because that's very much about what we are here at Wealth Mentor. So it gives me great pleasure and a lot of joy to welcome Amit. Are you there, my friend?
Yes, I am. Hey, thanks for having me, Jono.
Oh, mate, it's absolutely my pleasure. So obviously I gave a little bit of a mention before that we've known each other for a few years. We actually haven't spoken for a few years, and we'll put a bit of context around that, besides the odd Instagram laugh or like or clap on a few posts, because you seem to be, swinging a golf club around a wee bit as well. But, do you want to quickly give everybody a little bit of an introduction as to who you are, and then we'll get into it?
Sure. So my name's Amit Rai. I'm currently talking to you from New Plymouth. I was based in Auckland, but I just happened to be here just before August visiting my mum and saw the announcement and decided to stay here. So luckily, I'm the same size as my little brother. I've been stealing all of his clothes because all of my stuff's back in Auckland. But I grew up in a tennis family. My dad's a tennis coach. My little brother plays as well for the country. And I've known Jono for about 14 years now through that tennis community. And about 5 years ago, I started a company called Platform Sports. And what we do is we help athletes secure scholarships within the American college system.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. And, we did know each other a few years ago back when you used to come up and train in Auckland, and I was assistant coach at the academy that you used to come up and train. So we got to know each other back then, and got to know your family as well. Your brother would come up, and your dad, and always really enjoyed the passion that your family had for the sport. And obviously that's eventuated into the success not only in your business but in your brother's tennis. So really, really cool to see. Now, in terms of your business, I absolutely love this, because the fact that you are helping individuals by getting out there and giving them the opportunity to get scholarships in America, giving them the opportunity to essentially change their life, that has such a special meaning to me, because that's very much what we're about at Wealth Mentor. Do you mind just expanding a little bit on what that actually means to you, on the impact that you're having on people's lives?
Helping people has always been something that I've been really passionate about. Ever since I was even at university, whether it's like raising money for a mate that needed it, who was going through a sickness or something like that. That's what I was really passionate about. And so when I came up with the idea of helping athletes secure scholarships, the meaning behind it was I didn't go to the States myself. That was the first thing, because there was not enough education about it. And I wasn't I play a lot of tennis, but I wasn't as good as my brother. I wasn't at that elite level. But there was no one really helping out other athletes that were still really passionate about the sport. So with this idea, I thought, well, I can not only make it a business, but I can really help people and help them achieve their dreams, which is to go to the States and to compete. And it's been absolutely fantastic doing it. We've got some great case studies, and we've worked with over 11 different countries now, which has been fantastic. And yeah, it's been really exciting. It's been an exciting time.
Yeah, and I remember actually, because the timing of when you were starting the business and I was kind of getting out of tennis, we had a few conversations, and I know that there's a lot of athletes that you've placed over in the States that I worked with over the years, and I even was having a conversation with an athlete that you're working with currently. I mean, Dan Person, who is probably one of the real exciting talents in New Zealand, who's from the tennis club that I've been involved in since I was about 10 years old. And, he spoke so highly of the effort and the time that you've put in. And that's massive credit to you in that regard. Now, in terms of the key elements you believe for your business in order to be able to place these athletes in these environments that are going to completely change their lives, What are some of the things that you've really tried to embrace as a business, or the culture or the elements, in order to make sure that your athletes are given the best placements?
Because I didn't go to America, I never used a recruitment agency, but I did a lot of market research. I contacted a lot of my friends that went to the States that did use agencies, and I didn't want to hear the successes. I wanted to hear the things that went wrong. And the things that went wrong was people paying large sums of money to recruitment agencies, because that's how we get paid. We charge the athletes. We don't charge the universities. And there was no transparency. There was no notes about why they couldn't get to a specific university. Sometimes you didn't really know who was placing you. What was happening is you would go and pay online to a website. You would go into this online database, and then hopefully a coach contacts you. And there were even stories where athletes were going to a particular place in America, and when things went wrong, they had no support. So I said, you know what? That's going to be what platform is about. And so we provide on being super transparent, and we're being very honest with our athletes. So if there's an environment that we think that it's a really good offer, it's a good scholarship, you're not going to be paying much money, but it's not safe, or it's not exciting, or you're going to be isolated in the middle of nowhere, we're not going to send you there. And so what we do, regardless of the options that we have for our athletes, we provide pros and cons. And I think in any business, when a client is giving you money, you need to be super transparent and super honest with them, because at the end of the day, brand reputation is everything. And, as a company, I'm really proud to say we don't spend any money on Facebook ads or Instagram ads. It's all word of mouth. And that's what I love about us.
Yeah, I think there's no greater feeling as a business owner, getting those referrals and people talking about your business in such a positive sense. I know that's massive for us at Wealth Mentor, the community, the network that we got, the amazing people. We'll have a webinar for our community, and you got all these people, hundreds of people coming on and having this positive energy and this positive vibe around your company is something truly special. But something really stood out to me yesterday when I was having a chat with Dan. He said, I feel like Amit knows every single coach in the US. Do you think it's a big part of the success has been your people skills and being able to develop strong relationships?
I think so. I think so. And I gotta think.
Don't be humble here. Don't be too humble in this situation.
Look, I gotta thank my dad for that. Anyone that's watching this that has ever crossed past my old man, you could just walk past him and you'll be there for half an hour with them having a conversation about something. And my dad always taught me one thing, and it was whether it's in business or in your personal life, you have to treat people with 110% amount of respect, and you need to give them your time. And, whether it's talking to college coaches in America, I do the exact same. Whenever a coach calls me about a recruit, if that recruit that we have is not the level that they're looking for, what happens is I'll tell the coach that. I'll be like, listen, again, honest and transparent with the coach, just like I am with my athletes. I'll say, you know what, coach, if you sign this kid, he might come into your college program and he might not win any tennis matches for you. I don't think he's the right level for your program. And then from that, that trust that we build with the coach, that's how we sort of expand our relationships from there. So if you're just a nice guy and you help people out without expecting anything in return, it's going to pay off in dividends.
Yeah, all right, 100%. And I 100% agree with your comments around your dad. I know anytime you spot him at a tournament, he'd always make an effort, come over, shake your hand. And I think I really respect that, because, for those of you that have followed a few of the things that I've done, I'm very much big on the fact that, my parents were a massive influence on my life. My parents made a massive sacrifice in moving to New Zealand. And, for that, I've always been grateful. And I think that's the values they've installed in me and what I want to achieve for my family. And the other thing is, for my dad was always my hero, and I think,
Absolutely.
Following in on those values of your parents is powerful. And, credit to your dad, because, the success that you and your brother are having is really cool. And so I just would like to touch on your brother. I know I've seen a couple of the funny things where, people talk about you and they refer to you as the brother of Ajit. But Ajit has done, and you always make a joke about it, which is brilliant. But I mean, that there is really cool to see Ajit's success. Do you think, again, it's the environment and the skills that have been brought through from a family element?
Yeah, look, Ajit's works really hard. We're quite fortunate that Dad is such a passionate tennis coach. Like sometimes I remember when we were young. I mean, I'm in my bedroom right now. Ajit and I had the same bedroom growing up until we were 18. We've never actually had our own room. And
Yeah.
even when I was 12 years old, the blankets were off, we're running on the road, and Ajit and I training all the way up until he was a lot better than me. And then he started training with better players. But Ajit's worked incredibly hard. I don't think people see how hard he works behind the scenes. And, with limited resources as well. I mean, we're in New Plymouth right now. We haven't got an indoor tennis facility. We don't have 6 indoor tennis courts. It's all AstroTurf grass outside. And, sometimes you're hitting in the rain, hail, and also in the shine. And, Jono, when I used to come and get coached by you when I was 14 years old, I don't think many people knew this, but my dad used to chuck us in the car at about 2 a.m. and drive up to Auckland for 4.5 hours. We would train and then come back to New Plymouth for the weekend to play the afternoon matches. And it was an absolute grind, but we did it. And I think all of that hard work has contributed to Ajit's success, and it wouldn't be without my old man.
Yeah. And I'm probably, you can take a lot of credit for that as well. The way that, as
Thanks.
a big brother and leading by example as well. So, yeah, congratulations to you and your family in that regard. Now, in terms of values, because I've touched on it a little bit, I think it's really important that when you go through, whether you're in business, whether you're in sport, whether you're in your daily life, that you adhere to values and you understand what your purpose is in life and what you're trying to achieve. Do you actually have a bit of a feeling as to what your purpose is, or is there certain elements that you can say, yeah, my purpose is this?
I didn't before. So when I went to Victoria University in Wellington, and when I graduated in 2014, I had a job opportunity to coach for Clint Packer, which I know you know him quite well.
Yep.
And I was at the Renoff Tennis Centre in Wellington. I was coaching tennis. I think I was doing like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on the tennis court and in the pro shop as well, stringing tennis rackets. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. And then as soon as I got this idea, I became obsessed about it. I thought, this is what I really want to do. And some people say to me, Amit, how much money do you make? And I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't really keep track of that. What I do keep track of is how many athletes we're helping and what we're doing and what value we're providing for them. Recently we've just built an amazing recruitment team. We've got 3 awesome people that work with me in my inner circle really well with a lot of my athletes. And these are all former athletes. We've got like Natasha Lloyd, who is the former breaststroke champion for New Zealand and went to Auburn University. We got Bailey, who's one of the top 800-meter runners in New Zealand, went to Tulsa. And we've got Dylan Wood, who's actually a former athlete of mine. We put him at UC Davis and he graduated, and now he's joined us with joined Platform full time. So it's been fantastic. And what my purpose is not just to create a system to help athletes, but also to bring people along with me that have bought into the stream as well, that had a really good experience in the college system and want to give back. And that's what my team is. It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah. That's really cool to hear. And, I think the growing of your team and the evolution of your business, it's really quite cool to see how that's happened. It's obviously since knowing from the start when you gave me a call and let me know your idea. And in those early days, I think it was Mac that you worked alongside and got him placed. Right. So yeah, it's pretty awesome to see that evolution of your business. Do you have any big goals that you would like to achieve in terms of the business, or even not necessarily business wise, but even personal? What are those big goals that you have set yourself?
From a business perspective, I want to be the most credible. I wouldn't say the best. I want to be the most credible college recruitment company in the South Pacific, and I think we're on track to doing that. Quite quickly, we've gained a lot of support through New Zealand, not just with awesome sports academies. Like we work with, I'm not too sure if you know of a gentleman named Paul Eiffel. He used to play for the Wellington Phoenix, and great striker, good YouTube clip as well. Feel free to check it out. Some awesome goals there. But we work with a lot of the sports academies like Paul's Academy in Masterton and helping out quite a few of his athletes. But we also work with schools like New Plymouth Boys High in my hometown and other schools like Mount Albert Grammar in Auckland as well, which has been great. I guess what I want to do is I want to create just an online system, and we're very close to doing it. We've got this new website, which I'm about to launch, which is exciting, but it's just a content hub. If you go to our Instagram, which is platform_sports_management, and you hit the link in bio, there's so much free information that people can get access to. I want to be the place to go when people want want to go to the States, or they don't even need to use us as an agency, but just want to get information about a particular college. I mean, yesterday we just posted a chat with Kansas State University, the women's tennis program, and they talked about their facilities. They talked about what the athletes get access to in terms of tennis practice and the resources and that sort of thing. And if athletes can take some value from that, even if they don't pay us, that's a win.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, again, that very much aligns with what we are about, obviously in the wealth space. For us, it's all about, we've created a new tagline since I've taken over the full ownership of this business. Our new tagline is making wealth accessible to all, because really it gives us the opportunity to help people no matter what their walks of life. And I guess the other thing that we're big on, and I'm going to come back to this as a question for you later, around wealth is so individual. Every person has a different meaning of wealth. So for us being able to make wealth accessible to all, it's about improving people's lives to whatever they see their wealth is. So I'm definitely going to come back to that, to start having a think about what that wealth element is for you, because I didn't tell you about that question. But before I do go any further, I'm just going to quickly grab this opportunity, because I'm doing a webinar on Thursday night. And I'll get the team to drop the link into the chat. Also, there you go, a bit of an image on it. Because again, being able to help people in certain elements is so awesome. So I'm going to do a webinar on Thursday night, which is going to be all around buying your first investment property. So for those of you who maybe own a home, you have some equity, maybe you're looking at buying the first investment property, maybe you don't even have the equity or the savings, but you want to know how to go about it. I'm going to be covering that off on Thursday night. So make sure you jump on the register. The link will go in the chat, and I will see you there for that on 7:30 on Thursday night. Right. So now I get to ask my favorite question. And I've actually asked this to every single guest that I've had on this Coffee Catch Up. I think this is episode number 44 today. And my question to you is, what does wealth actually mean to you? Because I'm going to frame it a little bit better, actually. Let me expand on that. Because for me, wealth is literally about my family. It's about being able to provide the best life for my family. It's about me being able to go and drop my daughter at kindy. It's about being able to go and, yesterday sitting courtside, I didn't even say a single word while my daughter had her tennis lesson. Those elements to me are really powerful. For some people, it's like, listen, for me, wealth is, that McLaren parked out in the driveway. It's not quite a McLaren yet, but, for some people, that's what it's about. But what about for you? What does wealth actually mean to you?
For me, when I first started, I'm not going to lie, when I first started and I started looking at, how much money I could make with our service fees that we're charging, I started thinking about things that I could buy. What wealth means to me now is things that I can provide for my team. And so when I had Dylan that came up to me and he said, I'm working, I've finished my college soccer career at University of California, Davis, which is a very prestigious university. He came back to New Zealand. And when I asked him what he was doing, he was working in hospitality, but it wasn't his niche. That's not what he wanted to do. He really wanted to be a sports agent. He wanted to be in recruitment. He wanted to work with people. And I went down to Wellington, which is where he's based, and we went out to the Max Brew Bar. Great place to go for a nice be on the waterfront in Wellington.
Absolutely.
And I sat there with him and I said, what's your goal? And he said, look, I want to be a recruiter and I want to be financially stable. And all of a sudden, I shifted my focus from myself to my team. And that's what wealth is to me. What I want, when I think of wealth, I think of the money that the business makes. I want to make sure that my team are getting rewarded financially great and they're being looked after. And if I can do that, then I'm a happy man, because if I can look after my team and support them and provide a good business, everything else will take care of each other. Now, of course, I've had a very supportive family. My mum is probably the hardest working person I know. Sometimes I'll get up in the middle of the night and she's working, and she's a psychologist. She's writing reports at 4 a.m. and doesn't sleep till like 10 p.m. And so she works an insane amount of hours, and I'd love to retire them early. But I think that if you focus on creating wealth within your company and looking after your own team and looking after your own family, all that stuff will take care of itself.
Oh, that's very well put. That's probably one of the best answers. Well done on that one.
Thanks, man.
Beautiful. No, that's really quite special. And I guess it comes back to what I'm really gauging from the values of you and your businesses around the people. It's a people business. We actually have this saying amongst Wealth Mentor that it's property is not about property. Property is about people. If you want to invest well, you want to create the financial freedom. It's about creating relationships with the right people and having the team around you. So hats off to you for what you're creating. And I'm sure that you will see a massive reward for that, not only in the awesome results of the students, but also for yourself. In terms of that, would you like to share? I can see that the team has put in a couple of links for your Instagram and your website. Is you obviously you would love for people to reach out if they'd have any questions, or where's best to reach out to you?
Yeah, thanks. Look, our Instagram, I'm super active on it. Even though we have got a large team, I control the Instagram account. So anything you see there, it's all done by myself. So if you are interested in talking about US sports scholarships, we do free consultations. So we don't charge a cent until you are 100% sure you want to get involved in this is something that you want to do. So what a free consultation is we jump on a video call, not as fancy as this, but something a bit similar. And what happens is we talk about the college system, tell you what it's about. We ask you questions about your sport. We tell you what kind of scholarship you're going to get. And then if you're interested in coming on board, then we can start looking at contracts and that sort of thing. But there's no financial obligation for that part. So if you want to get in touch with us, go to Instagram, message us, or go to our website. There's a chat bar there. And as soon as you start typing in that chat bar, it comes through to my phone and I'll be able to respond to you.
Oh, you're a good man. You're a good man. I've got one more question, though, before I do let you go. Because, on the 43 episodes, I've probably had about 30 of them with different guests who are, exceptional in all their own right. And everybody has different elements that they go through in their daily lives, routines or elements that, mindset or keeping fit or whatever it is in order to achieve. And I actually did one of my coffee catch-ups a couple of weeks ago where I just talked about a couple of ones that really stood out to me. One of them was one guy got up at 5 a.m. so that he could make sure that he had his work done before his kids woke up. So when his kids woke up, he had their full attention. And then when he got to his office, because he ran a big team, he could put all his energy into his team and his clients. And I've taken that on board. If I look a little bit jaded, I'm getting up at 5 a.m., getting my work done before my kids are up. Are there certain things that you go about in your daily life in order to become the best version of yourself?
For sure. I mean, what I tried to do, I've got a lot of great friends that I know that will be watching this as well. So I'll give the boys a bit of a shout out, but they're all working very high up in all the areas that they operate in. And all of them have always said, get up really early and start your day productively. And that's what I've been doing as well. So especially working with the American time zone too, we're operating a day ahead, but a few hours behind. And so I start my day at about 5:45, 6 a.m. I like to smash out all the responses to college coaches, which is quite a lot. And then we allocate time to work on all the athletes that we work with. I do have a team, so we have catch-ups pretty much every day with our team to know who's doing what. But I think your productivity is based on what makes you happy throughout the day. There has to be something. And for me, playing tennis my whole life, if I'm not doing something active throughout the day, I just can't work. It's really weird. So I like to get up early, get a lot of work done, but I also like to either play some tennis or just go to the gym and just get on that treadmill or something like that. And that's what really keeps me going throughout the week.
Awesome. I think that's that's some great insight, and it can really help in those regards. Just get the body moving, get the mind fresh. I did have someone on the show a couple of weeks ago that was just like, literally just move your body. Even if you just walk down to the letterbox, take your shoes off and feel the ground and move your body and get the mind going.
Sure.
Because fresh mind, and you can achieve so much. And on that note, massive congratulations to all you have achieved. I'm so excited to see what the future holds for you and your company. When we have a bit of freedom, I think post December 15th, and we're allowed to catch up. When you're in Auckland, let's have a beer and discuss around how we can just keep influencing it and having such a positive impact on so many people's lives. So congratulations, my friend, and thank you so much for coming on the show.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on. And definitely look forward to catching up with you in December, mate.
Awesome. Sounds good. And thanks everybody for joining us today. Always a pleasure. We will see you on Thursday. I have a really exciting episode on Thursday. We're going to be talking about $100,000 challenge that we've been doing over the last few months and telling you about some of the awesome success stories that we've seen. So make sure you join us on Thursday, 12:30, same time, same place. And most importantly, get out there, have a great afternoon, and always stay awesome. See you, everybody.